thank you. Great to have you with us here on the Nets post-game show as the Charlotte Hornets come to town and they beat the Nets 119-110. Kyrie Irving, that first home game, there was a lot of anticipation, but between he and Kevin Durant, they couldn't hit the shots they needed to pull this thing out.
Yeah, and really, Kyrie Irving had that stretch midway through the fourth quarter where he scored those 8 points and got the Nets back into it. They actually took the lead, but the difference here was the three-point shooting of the Charlotte Hornets. In fact, they were 17 of 32 overall. Their last 4 field goals were three-pointers, and then maybe the most unconventional of them all, and really the biggest shot of the game, was the Caleb Martin three. Yep. Where it was a bailout late in the shot clock. I'm still wondering when I looked at it. I still think that might have been a 2, but you know, it didn't get reviewed. Obviously, the refs would know. But that was a big one because at that point, it's a 1-point game. And, you know, LaMelo Ball was dribbling, going nowhere. He got Martin to bail them out. And then Kevin Durant down the stretch missed a lot of makeable shots. So it was really, you know, Kyrie Irving struggled early. Kevin Durant struggled late. And now where are you? You're in 9th place in the Eastern Conference. Right.
Durant, to your point, 9 of 24 from the floor. Kyrie, 6 of 22. So they really struggled. But having said that, Kyrie found the shots he needed to down the stretch. Here we go, Frank. Nets down 6 and Kyrie attacking.
Well, during the telecast, Richard Jefferson, Sarah were talking about it. When Charlotte was able to set up their zone, the Nets were struggling their half-court offense. When they got stopped and then Kyrie was able to get into the paint, and as Richard pointed out, he's such a terrific finisher. That's when Kyrie was finding his game, as opposed to taking forced long jumpers. And this one, you probably could have called a foul. That's a terrific shot right there, which ties the game up.
Over 3 minutes left in the game. Nets by 1. LaMelo to P.J. Washington, hard charging. Those were some of the plays that, you know, the Nets suffered on.
And P.J. Washington's being guarded there by Andre Drummond, blows past him. This is the Martin shot right here. Oh, boom. That left foot, I wonder if it was on the line right there. But that puts them up by 4. And the Nets, again, down the stretch. This was a good play by Curry where they needed a basket. He drives to the lane, gets it, makes it a 2-point game. And again, Bob, how many times have we talked about it? You need stops. And here, P.J. Washington with the kick out to Martin. This one he had a chance to set, and he knocks it down. Huge shot by Martin down the stretch.
All right, so the Hornets win it 119-110. That is your game summary brought to you by Infinity. Luxury should be lived in. Brooklyn, a season-high 37 fast break points. It's ironic because it was sort of a back-and-forth game throughout this one, Frank. But in the end, when you look at it, Kyrie challenged. He went inside. It was something he wasn't doing all game. It paid off. But then those money shots from outside that they needed to hit, they couldn't get to
and there
go.
were a couple, you know, Kyrie, who had scored 50 points the last time he played the Charlotte Hornets, was getting anything that he wanted. So clearly James Borrego, who's a Greg Popovich disciple, they were going to do a much better job defensively. I thought Kyrie forced a couple. There was one late in the second half where he had both Isaiah Thomas on him and Terry Rozier, and he tried to shoot a turnaround 3 with 2 guys on you. That's too much. And then I think he settled in where he was getting into his spots on the court, more of a mid-range game. But guess what? Offense overall wasn't the Nets' problem. They gave up 63 points in the second half. It's hard to win games when you do that. They had a 14-point lead in this game. And granted, Charlotte was knocking down threes, and sometimes that's fool's gold. This time it worked out for them. The Martin 3, you know, late in the shot clock was big, and then they got an offensive rebound and hit another one. So those 2 Martin 3-pointers down the stretch were massive.
All right, so let's cement what you said, because if you dig into the Eastern Conference standings, you see the Nets and the Hornets each at 39 and 36. But now it's the Nets falling from the 8th to the 9th because of the tiebreak.
And that's why Tuesday's game against Detroit is huge, because it's a team with a losing record that has played well and has been competitive. Then you have Milwaukee coming in on Thursday. Then you go on the road to Atlanta. So all of a sudden this stretch now seems a lot more difficult, and it puts a lot more focus on Tuesday's game. A lottery bound team in Detroit, but they're going to try to come in here with, you know, a young roster and try to prove something to the Brooklyn Nets. If you're Steve Nash, there's going to be certain things about this game that are going to make you happy. I think what he's going to be disappointed in is late in the game, they just could not get a stop when they needed it. And also, too, there were shots that Kevin Durant missed that he usually makes. So, you know, the cliche about being a make-or-miss league, the Charlotte Hornets were making every big shot. I'll live with all those shots that Kevin Durant was taking. The baseline jumper that he missed, then the pull-up 3 after Martin had made the 3. Those are shots that he normally makes. He just couldn't find the basket in that crucial time in the final 3 minutes.
All right, so you take a look at the battle of point guards tonight. We'll break it down between Kyrie and LaMelo Ball and the way that they played. And let's start with Kyrie. Again, couldn't find his stroke early from outside and then had to kind of start forcing his way towards that basket.
Yeah, and I think early he also started it off with the drive down the basket. And this is it. Now he's isolated on Terry Rozier. Instead of settling for the long three, look at that. And he's so good with his offhand, spitting in the lane and kissing it off the glass for another basket. Now here you have a tie game. LaMelo Ball isolated. There's a foul there. There might have been a foul there. Kyrie Irving with a tough pull-up jumper falls down. And what got Steve Nash all ticked off was at the other end, they called the foul with the contact, and he was wondering where was it at this end. But how about LaMelo Ball at certain points? There were moments in the game, especially late, where he was playing like a young player. But this three here, was he feeling it? Yeah, that was a deep three by him. And that's a tough one, too. Catching in the corner and fading a little bit to your left, and you still knock down the three.
And he had 7 of their 17 threes. And, again, that's making it look easy. A guy that averages about 20 a game, and he throws 33 up tonight.
And that's why about the Eastern Conference, and you think about right now those top teams, and even though the Brooklyn Nets are 9th, I still consider them one of the top teams. But you have Boston, you have Miami, you have Philadelphia, you have Milwaukee. And then you have a team like Charlotte. Think about how good they're going to be in the next couple of years, because they're going to put, they're going to build a team around LaMelo Ball. Charlotte has missed, and Michael Jordan and his people have missed a couple of times with high draft picks. They did not miss with LaMelo Ball. His dad, LeVar Ball, has been talking for about 4 years about how great this kid was going to be. He ended up being right about him. All right,
so he was spot on tonight with the 33. We're going to take a break, but we got a lot more coming up here at Barclays Center. And again, you look at not only the three-point shooting, but also the free throws. The Nets missing 9 of them.
I mean, think about that. You're getting outshot by 30 points. Or I should say 21 points. I'm bad at math. No, I'm right, 30 points on three-pointers. And think about Kevin Durant in this game. In the fourth quarter, he goes 1 for 8 in the fourth. And again, a lot of those were makeable shots. So you're going to live and die with your best player taking shots that you know that he can make. Tonight, it just didn't happen. And the three-point shooting of Charlotte was absolutely off the charts. How often do you see a team go 17 of 32? That's ridiculous.
Let's hear from head coach Steve Nash.
Coach, what was the message to the group after this one?
I think for us, we just felt like we didn't make shots tonight, but you have to find other ways to win the game. And tonight, you can look at a number of things, details, physicality, coverages, knowing plays when we come out of timeouts, little slippage there. Start the second half. 17 offensive rebounds and box out. So when we're not making shots, we got to find a way to win games in different ways. And I think that's where we let ourselves down a little bit tonight.
Well, this is more than just one person. This game is more than about just one guy. But Kyrie, knowing how badly he wanted to play well tonight, in what ways could you get a sense that this was weighing on him and then the way the game unfolded?
Yeah, I don't know. The ball's not going to go in every night.